Hi, this is Katie Shell, and this is the fourth video in my series on intuitive aromatherapy, or the principles of intuitive aromatherapy, or aromatherapy for intuitive development. I use both phrases because when I think of the principles of intuitive aromatherapy, I'm thinking of aromatherapy as its own kind of standalone intuitive modality. Whereas when I think of in aromatherapy to support intuitive development, I'm really thinking more of people who work with other intuitive or do other kinds of energy work and would like some additional support, especially that which is really connected with the Mother Earth and really very physically and grounding. So, and that's a big part of this particular piece of the principle that we're going to discuss today. So, today's part is about the senses. And so, we've talked a little bit about we are we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. We are walking this earth plane in physical bodies to learn things. And one of the ways that we learn things is through our senses, through our smell, through our sight, through our touch. We can't do those things as disembodied spirits floating around in the universe, but we can do them in these physical bodies in this three-dimensional world. So it's really important for us to tune into that and really and allow those senses to really feed us and really give us the information that we need and really awaken them. And this is where essential oils really shine with intuitive abilities and intuitive development, because with the other pieces of this puzzle, you can work with, there are a lot of tools you can work with, and there's a lot of tools you can work with for this as well. But I really feel like tuning into those senses, the aromatherapy again really shines, really stands out as it's as um, a really special supportive tool. So there's a couple ways that the senses are important for our intuitive abilities. One, of course, is, as I mentioned, receiving that information. Receiving, um, you can smell something, and if you smell something, it gives you information. You can smell it, something that isn't like I want to say a phantom scent, or a scent that is coming in from another dimension or something like that, that is providing you with information. Now, if you don't understand what the oils themselves mean, that's not necessarily going to be helpful for you. Um, and we go more into that as the plants as a language in the fifth principle. But what it can do is, when we smell things, it invokes memories. So it can invoke painful memories. And if it invokes a painful memory, it is inviting something to be unlocked that we need to address in order to create more space in our container to receive better. Again, touching back in on that, creating the container that we talk about in the first part, in the first principle. It also, and it's not just painful memories, it's memories of joy, memories of love. And so it tunes us back into those frequencies of joy and love that we need to be in order to tune into that frequency of love in the universe, that cosmic frequency, that cosmic truth of love that we want to receive our information through, that we want to connect with those higher dimensional beings, the higher dimensional information, higher self, whatever you want to call it. As we're tuning into those things, we want to be in that frequency of love. And so remembering what love feels like by recalling a scent that tunes us into something that we have felt in our life that connects us with love. Now, these scents can be, blue spruce is a really popular one that, people smell in their backyards, and they smell it, and it reminds them of a you know, Christmas or some sort of, or being in the woods or something like that, some other memory where you didn't necessarily intentionally connect it. So that's one way that we work with the sense of smell. The other way that we work with it is we actually intentionally, as we're moving about, as we're creating something, as we are manifesting something, as we are receiving information from our higher selves, from the higher dimensional beings, from other dimensional beings, whatever it is, ancestors, guides, whatever, whoever you're trying to tune into, whoever you are receiving information from, Or if you are specifically intentionally manifesting something, like I desire to have a peaceful um, time, peaceful, restful sleep. Um, I desire to have lots of students coming to this class that I'm setting up, that this is building up for. And by setting those intentions and seeing what it feels like, you smell a bottle, whatever it is. Which one do I have here? Blue chamomile. And I smell that. And so every time now, as I'm said, I manifest it. I see it. I feel it. I tune into that frequency of what that class is going to feel like when I'm surrounded by, the and interacting with people, and bringing those people into my life, into my sphere. And then I smell it, and I smell that, and then every time I smell it, I connect with that feeling that I'm trying to anchor into the physical world. So it'll, again, working with the scent allows us, is one of the things that helps us anchor our everything, whether it's something that we are creating in the spiritual realm, or something we are receiving from the spiritual realm using our physical bodies. We need to anchor it into the physical realm. So smell will help us do that. You can also touch something. You can, and oils are really great because some of them are very thick, and some of them, like this one is a beautiful blue color. And I can remember what it feels like, and I can remember what it looks like as I anchor that into my body. And so that is another way to work with invoking the senses. So, and then of course it is activating the senses, because we're working with all of the senses, except for hearing, not as much. We were definitely, of course, we were working with smell. We of course working with sight, especially when we look at something like this blue chamomile, which is very dark colored. And then we're working with touch. So we're really taking time to tune into what the body is feeling. And by tuning into what the body is feeling, we're always going to be a little bit more in tune with our environment. And we're going to be able to pick up more on the subtleties that come through, because everything doesn't come in this, giant sign from, giant neon signs from God or whatever it is that tell us what it is that we need to know, or give us that guidance that we're looking for. Sometimes it's very subtle. And so by being aware of these subtle shifts in our environment, smell, touch, taste, we can receive better. So, again, the next video is going to be more about developing the language, knowing what and why it's important to understand what we are receiving through taste, smell, touch, even the voices of those plants, and really tuning into those voices of plants and trees. So I hope this helps. And if you are interested in understanding the principles of intuitive aromatherapy, or developing your own intuitive and protecting your empathic abilities, your empathic being, a lot, especially the first and the second, with the grounding and the creating the container and the boundaries, are really important for empaths. Um, if you're interested in learning more about how to do this, and how I work with essential oils as a tool of intuitive development, and as their standalone modality as an intuitive tool, please go to intuitivearomatherapy.com. As I'm recording this, I have a class coming up, on an introductory class coming up on December 7th. And there will be a series coming up in 2023, and then this will be hopefully continuing to grow as we move forward. So again, thank you for joining me, and have a great day.